Hello, I'm Gary with Gavin with Gary. I've been conducting interviews with the people of Ukraine all over the world. Some renowned authors, police officers, teachers, wives, lawyers, soldiers, and just everyday people. I've been conducting these interviews so that the struggles of the Ukrainian people are not forgotten now or in the future. Every Ukrainian deserves to have their story told. This is so dangerous for some, I can't even show you their faces as they worry about retribution to their family from Russian occupied areas. Those interviews, for safety reasons, are just podcasts. Please consider donating to my channel so that I can continue to bring you this content. Again, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you and be safe. This is Gary with Gavin with Gary. We have Joe here today, and he's going to introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Joe. I'm the president and owner of Decoria.com, as well as some other companies. But the reason I mention that is because my main focus right now is trying to raise money to help the people, the children, the pets, and the animals in Ukraine. And it's something that's very important to me for a lot of reasons. My family had survived the Soviet invasion in '68, so it's something that's very important to me. Another reason is I have friends there. Some of them work for their companies that make plastic models that are very popular around the world. And one of their lead artists, who's a world-renowned artist, he got killed by shrapnel in March of last year. So it's just something that is very important to me, and this is why I'm doing it. And I spent weeks making all these different designs, using all different kinds of clip art and graphics, and combining it with my art and everything. And the idea is to raise as much as I can for specific charities that are dear to my heart. That these are the ones I support. So, and on all these products that I make, I don't make a penny. 100% of the profits goes directly to these organizations. Now, when you go to the website, you'll see those organizations in the description of them. There's also, if you click on it, it'll take you a link directly to their Ukrainian donation link. So if you don't want to buy anything, that's fine with me. If you click on it and make a donation to one of those groups, that's great. That's the bottom line. I'm not looking to make money on this. I don't. But if people go to the website and make a donation directly to them, that's fine with me. If they want to get something to show their support, then they can buy a product, a t-shirt, mug, what have you, a hat. As you can see, I'm wearing one. And
I love that hat.
The profits for that will go to those organizations. And you have the the Ukraine Crisis Relief Fund, which is going through Global Giving, and that supports all the humanitarian assistance for the impacted communities in Ukraine, and also in the surrounding areas like Poland and so forth, Moldavia, and that's where the refugees have fled. You also have IRC, which is the International Rescue Committee, and they partner with a lot of the civil society organizations in Poland and Ukraine to help all the refugees as well. And they try to put the money to the best use to where it's needed the most, and most needed urgently. So that's what they do. And then also you have Save the Children. They have a specific link where the money goes to help the children. Okay, there's over 400,000 that need humanitarian aid, and millions have been displaced by this. And it's just heartbreaking to see what these kids have to go through. And they help them get food, medicine, shelter. And it's something that really helps with the children. And I also put my support behind IFAW, which is an organization that's been in Ukraine since almost 10 years. They started helping in 2014 when the invasion of Crimea by the Russians, and all the shelters were damaged, they're ruined, and there was a lot of displaced animals, so they were helping they've been doing that for 10 years. So they know the landscape, they know who to contact or where everything is so that they can help. And it's not just helping the pets, but it's also helping any animals. I mean, you have the zoos that have been damaged or destroyed. So that's something that's very dear to me. I've always been a supporter of animal rescue groups. I've been doing volunteering for private groups since I was in my 20s. And that's a long time ago. And I'm not going to say how long ago because then I'll get upset. But it's something I've done even until I got sick, but I haven't been able to do rescue or transports or overnight since then. But any way I can support them in the meantime, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm a seat jockey. I sit here and on the computer and I try to do what I can to be able to help them while while I'm going through this health situation. But it's heartbreaking. There was a picture I saw yesterday when Lviv got bombed, and there was a picture of a dog. It looked like a beagle mix, and I don't know if it's a boy or girl, and she's curled up in a blanket from a bombed out building. Her entire family was killed. So this poor dog has nowhere to go, and hopefully someone will take her in. I mean, if I could arrange transport to here, I'd take her in a second. But when you see the look on her face, it makes you angry. It makes you sad. And it should make you want to do something to help in any way you can. Okay. I just, when I look at that picture, it breaks my heart. And also there was another picture of a man holding a cat that he rescued. The woman whose cat it was, she was trapped under the building for 5 hours in the rubble. And 2 of her cats, they haven't been able to find. They're missing. Who knows where they are? So, we've got to do something. Can I change things politically? I wish I could. Can I do things to impact both? Yes. One of the things that I've done now, was this going to really piss off the Russians? I hope so.
And what was it that you did?
Well, these are called Slava Ukraine cards, and they're note cards. And there's 2 kinds of graphics, and on both of the front it says "Glory to Ukraine," and in Ukrainian it says "Slava, glory to Ukraine," which is Slava, Slava's glory. And there's 2 types you can get. One goes to the Ukrainian embassy here in the United States. And it's just a way to show you that you support them and that you're behind them. So inside the card, it has a graphic I made of a blue and yellow sunflower, which the sunflower is the national flower of Ukraine. And it says in Ukrainian, "We pray for the safety of all Ukraine." And that's on the inside. On the other card, there's this is the one I'm really trying to push. It says the same thing on the front, but this one doesn't get mailed to the Ukraine embassy. It gets mailed to the U.S., the Russian ambassador's residence in Washington, as well as the embassy. And it says in Russian, there's 2 different types of lettering, fonts, but it says, "Their blood is on your hands." And on the card is a blood spatter, and on front of the blood spatter is a graphic of a child with the blue pants and the yellow shirt, the colors of Ukraine. And the idea there is to piss them off, and I really don't care. And I ship these to the person for free. The note card comes with its envelope, already addressed. It has a postage stamp on it. All the person has to do is take it out of the shipping envelope, or just a regular envelope, take it, put the card in, seal it, stick it in the mailbox. They don't have to buy anything. I make no money on this at all. The cost for each card is $3.72. That's exactly what it cost me to do this.
And that includes the postage, right?
It includes the postage going to the person, postage going to the embassy. It includes all the supplies needed to make it. I literally make no money on this. None.
Do you have any graphics right there to show us of what the card looks like?
I don't have one in front of me.
But everyone can go to your website and check it out.
They can go to Jokoria.com. It's D as in David, A as in Apple, K as in Kevin, O as in Orange, R as in Robert, I as an apple.
I'll
And
make sure it's right here so everyone
yeah,
sees it.
yeah,
And
Decoria.
then they can go to it, and as
Yeah.
well, it will be in the description of this video
Yeah,
interview.
on the homepage, you'll see a banner. And you can click on the link there to help the people in Pets of Ukraine. There's also a link at the bottom of the page, which says uh, Ukraine products. You click on that and it'll take you to the main page for all the different products. There's mouse pads, drinkware hats, license plates, holiday cards, the Slava Ukraine cards, apparel, car ornaments that you can hang from the mirror of your car. They're double-sided with all different graphics to show your support. I mean, I've got them all over my car. I've got the front license plate, you know. As soon as I get my battery fixed, I'll be driving it around again.
Right, right.
It's just a way for people to not only send a message to those around them to show their support, but also a way to send a message to the Russians. Hey, you know what? We don't support you and we're angry, and let them know they don't have any support. And, is it going to have an impact? No, but on the ambassador, of course not, because she's such I won't say it, but you get my drift. But the staff, yeah, it might have an impact on them. Okay. And will it have an impact on the people that work at the Ukraine embassy? Most definitely. Okay. Uh, it'll definitely impact them because it'll show their support. Um, anything I can do to let them know how much I support them and others do, and I'm going to do it. One of the things we had talked about this before, Gary. There was a pilot in the Ukraine Air Force, and he trained most of their pilots. They called him Colonel Grandfather or Colonel Diddy, and he was revered. They looked up to him. When he got shot down in an Su-25 over the Black Sea a couple months ago, and it just, looking at that and losing that kind of leadership is going to hurt. And I just, well, what can I do to help let them know, yeah, he may be gone, but he's still with you. So what I did is I made these stickers with the Ukraine flag, and on it says "in Ukraine," and I had my friends in Ukraine proof it for me, and that's exactly what it should say. And it says "Glory to Colonel Diddy," and this is what it looks like.
Oh, I like it. Pull back just a hair. Oh, that's good.
Okay.
I like it a lot.
And the idea is, I mailed them out to the U.S. ambassador, Ms. Brink, and to see if she could possibly give them to either President Zelensky or the Colonel of the Air Force, and to hand out to the pilots. Now, I don't have a lot of money, so I'd send 98. I kept one for myself, and one was approved. So she's going to get 98 of them. So hopefully get it in a couple of weeks. I'm going to track it. And the idea is to give them to the pilots. They can put them on the outside of the plane. They can put them on the inside if they want. And I mean, how you always see athletes, when they go out to play a game, they bang a sign like Notre Dame, they bang that sign, or, as a means of good luck or inspiration. Well, that's what I want this to be. When they get in their plane, they touch that sticker, in honor of Colonel Diddy. And maybe I'm hoping it does two things for them. I hope it inspires them to be the best pilot that they can be, that he trained them to be. And, and maybe it'll bring them some luck. I don't know. I hope it does. But it's just to let them know, I mean, these guys are flying how many sorties a day? 8, 9, 10 sorties. You just don't see that anymore. That's like World War II and the Battle of Britain. These guys were flying 10, 12 sorties a day.
I'm sure they are.
No, they are. And it's draining, I just imagine you're going up there 8 or 9 times a day with the chance of getting killed. So, I mean, it can be very stressful. So maybe this will be like what I consider like a B12 shot. Maybe it'll make them feel better. Maybe it'll inspire them, and just know that they know they have the support of the Ukrainian people, but to know on that level that they have the support of all of us, okay, of the civilized world, okay, that we support them and we pray for their success and for their safety. So, we'll see what happens. Hopefully Ambassador Brink will give it to them. And, I'm not looking for any publicity out of it, I just want to know that it was done so that I'm not wasting my money.
Right, right.
If they want more, I'll have more made up and I'll ship them right
What
out.
else can you do? You're doing all you
Yeah,
could do.
whatever I can do, I'm gonna try to do. Obviously, I'm not rich, but whatever I can do with what I have, I'm gonna try to do. That's why this card, it's only $3.72. And it's not a lot. All you have to do is order it, get it, mail it. That's it. And maybe it'll make you feel a little better that, yeah, you're showing your support to the people of Ukraine, and you're also letting Russia know how pissed off you are. What I'm also going to do with that is I'm reaching out to people, and I'm trying to find other companies like me who are located, say, in Austria, Germany, Sweden, Finland, England, France, Spain, whatever, where they could do the same thing and have these cards printed there, but have it go to the embassies in their country. And then instead of in English, have it in German or whatever. I'll even do the graphics. I don't care. I'll do the graphics. I'll send them the file, no charge, but they have to agree that they only charge actual cost. So they put the postage on the envelope. If they need a sheet of address labels, I'll make the file. They can print it. I know they have different size standards in Europe. Fine, whatever. If you want A4, A7 envelopes or cards, whatever, I'll make it that way, and I'll send them the files, and then they can print it. But I expect them to follow through with it. The idea is, if we can get, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of these cards being sent to the Russian embassies,
That would be amazingly awesome.
if that doesn't send a message, you know, to the staff there, I don't care about the ambassador Lavrov. Does it help it piss him off? Yeah, I hope he pisses him off. Okay, because then his staff is going to see how pissed off he is. Why? Because he's a 2-year-old and he acts like one and lies like crazy.
Well, that's all they do to the general public.
Most politicians do that, but they were talking about a culture they're trying to eliminate, and too many millions of lives they're trying to eliminate. Also, so Putin can thrust his chest out and say, glory to Russia. Well, no. Now you've put yourself in the same category as Stalin and Hitler.
Well, you know that now Neighbors, and I just read this morning, last night, where it's really infighting is really truly bad. There are so many people turning in other people from hearing anti whatever at the bars and such like that Neighbors, they heard someone say that, good for Ukraine or whatever, and they're reporting them all, and all these people are being picked up, just like in the Soviet when it was the USSR with all the KGB. It's crazy.
Well, he's ex-KGB, so he's treating everything like he was the Soviet Union, not Russia, and eventually that's going to backfire because you can only keep out the information for so long, and then when people start seeing how many lives they've lost, and when they find out there was no reason for this, that was not true what he's saying about the Nazis being in Ukraine. There are more Nazis in Russia than there are in Ukraine. There are more Nazis here, so we got Nazis here. So does that mean Russia can invade us? I mean, come on. I loved it. You saw the same thing when Lavrov made that statement at the G20 about saying that they were attacked. No, and everybody started laughing.
Right. None of this would have happened if Ukraine didn't attack them.
I wouldn't have just laughed. I would have stood up and I would have called them out and said, "Come on, let's go, you and me, right now. Let's debate it, and you prove whatever you can say, because I can, you can't." I said, he shouldn't even have been there. They should close the border and not let anybody in and out of Russia. That's it, and Belarus, and just shut them down. And if China doesn't cooperate, okay, we'll do the same thing with you. And then your economy will go right down the tubes. See, they're trying to play both sides of the fence. The same with Turkey. Turkey should shut down the Black Sea. They shouldn't be allowed to go through the Russian Navy, but they let
absolutely.
Them. They should have shut them down. So Turkey's playing both sides of the fence too. Erdogan,
Erdogan, he's a piece of crap too. I agree.
He's a two-faced liar. So,
Well, he hasn't changed for many years already. It's just the
no, he's a
same guy.
dictator just like Putin is, and just like Lukashenko in Belarus. I have no use for a dictator. So it's just I've never. I mean, I've been around a long time. Do I remember Vietnam? Yeah, I remember Vietnam. I knew a lot of vets who came back and were all messed up. From whether it be from Agent Orange or PTSD, which they didn't even know about back then. Um, so and I'm a student of history, and everything that Putin's doing, he's using the Hitler playbook.
Oh,
And
yes.
well, look what happened to Hitler. Well, we can only hope the same thing happens. Eventually, his
Very much
people
so.
will, hopefully soon, the people will say, enough is enough. And if you got 100 cops there and you've got 10,000 protesters and people, start beating up on the cops and taking their weapons, then you're going to start having something. I kind of like reference what I would hope would happen in Russia is kind of like the same thing that happened in the Hunger Games. He treats all the different countries like districts, and he treats them the same way. And if you don't comply, yeah, you're dead. So they need to rise up and do the same thing, and get rid of people like that. People like that don't have the right to be on this earth, to be honest. And I would love to see it happen to him what happened to Mussolini.
The problem is now is that if Putin was removed now, they don't think we're going to get a better Putin. They think that we're going to get a worse Putin, or at least the same kind of person as Putin, because it's going to be another KGB agent. They were saying, so some colonel, whatever. So I don't see, Graft is gonna not change. The money's still gonna go in their pockets.
Well, that's why they've got to get rid of him and all his buddies.
But it won't happen that way. They'll get rid of him, but one of his buddies will just step in, and it's going to be another lead KGB agent. They've already said that. They've already focused on the guy who's going to be the next guy. Nothing's going to change. That's the bad part.
But the people, if they're going to revolt like that, they're going to know who to target.
I hope so.
And they're going to know that, okay, his buddy who's KGB, yeah, we got to get rid of him too. So, and if you slaughter enough of them, there's not going to be enough of them left. And you know what? Do you think they really would be very smart to want to lead a country that's willing to kill you like that so quickly?
So, I mean, I see a lot. I see a lot of these high Russian people in the government trying to learn to fly off the 16th floor. And that's been happening quite a bit lately.
Yeah, you don't see that happening anywhere else.
It's been kind of crazy.
Yeah, and eventually people, when they get in that situation, what are they going to do? They're going to run like hell and leave. And then hopefully he doesn't have much support left that he can sustain.
Well, the other side of it, now I also read, because I do a lot of reading of news. I read very reliable sources, and they just announced that that Russia has made a new unit now, are basically going after the AWOL people, whether they're in Ukraine or and on the sides that they occupy, or back in Russia or wherever. Now they're going after those people now, because I guess there's a lot of them, so they're going to try to push them.
They've tried that in Ukraine before with these secret units, and the Ukrainians have found them almost every time, and they kill them. So
yeah, no, I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about the AWOLs. They want to find the AWOLs to bring to the front line again and fight. That's their whole thing now.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, is those units, you gotta remember the Russian military is not very smart, as we can see.
Right.
And the same thing will happen with those guys. They're going to get caught. Well, I mean, in Russia, no. But if somebody has just gone AWOL and went and ended up in Belgium, they're not going to. They try to catch them there. They're crossing the line.
The whole world thought that They were formidable, Russia. And I mean, heck,
I
I'm a
never
cold,
did.
I'm
Never
a Cold
did.
War vet. I don't know. I was brought up believing a lot of stuff from
I
being in the
never did, and
military.
I never did, and I'll tell you why. Russian technology and their whole military doctrine is quantity, not quality.
That's correct.
That worked in World War II. It doesn't work now. I mean, you stick one Abrams tank against 20 T-80s, and that Abrams is going to wipe them out. Their technology is crap. I mean, they call them, they have their own Air Force in the Army tank division, because when they get hit, what happens? The turret goes flying up in the air 200-300 feet.
I think they're
What
pulling out.
happens with our,
I
huh?
think they're pulling out of their mothball fleet now, or 262s or
Yeah,
260s.
that's not going to help them, because T-62s are so obsolete.
It's
T-72s as well.
ridiculous.
So,
I would be afraid to be on one of those.
but
And they're
even
pulling out BTRs.
their modern tank, the Armada, the T-90, the same problem. It's the same problem with their design. Their whole doctrine is screwed up. Now, you think they would have learned that after the Iraqi war, when we just took their tanks and blew the caps off them all the time.
Well,
We didn't lose any tanks to their fire. None. None.
we should be
So,
very thankful they put everything, all their ammunition in the turret.
yeah, they
Because
put it underneath. So
it
even
makes it
even if
nice.
you run over a mine, and if the mine is strong enough, it'll blow right up through that. And what happens? Your turret's going to go flying 200-300 feet
The
up in the air.
lollipop goes a flying.
And their planes are, a lot of those is stolen technology, but their engineers aren't as good as ours. So
That I just read,
their engines are terrible.
right?
So they fly very well. They leave a hell of a trail, so it's easy for a heat-seeking missile to find it. And they can say they got stealth all they want. I guarantee you their stealth isn't 5% of what ours is. And not only that, but our missiles are much better, and our pilots are better trained. And even the Russian pilots, I remember this interview a while back, and the Russian pilots were being interviewed about, the different planes, and they all said the same thing. They would love to be able to fly an F-16, because they said that's like the hot rod of the sky.
Right.
Now, they didn't say anything about their planes, because their planes are inferior. The only thing the Russians have on their planes is their landing gear is sturdy. They can land anywhere. That's it. Their avionics aren't as good. Their radar seeking, their missiles aren't as good.
Oh, their radar technology is crap.
Their fuel efficiency is awful. They can't fly as far as our planes. They don't have the in-air refueling capabilities that we have. I mean, there's so many factors that you'd think they would have learned after the Iraqi war, but they don't. They're so stuck in their same mode that they've been through and since Stalin, and that kind of thing doesn't work on the battlefield today. It hasn't worked.
Right.
It didn't work on a battlefield 20 years ago. It ain't going to work now. And if anything, now it's even more lethal. So when these leopards start going after the T-80s and the T-72, it's going to be a slaughter. And these Ukrainian soldiers, man, they learn fast.
I read that
they're motivated.
I read that Putin just sent some of our javelins and some Stingers over to Iran for them to reverse engineer.
Yeah,
that was just
good
leaked.
luck with that,
I hope so, because we were afraid. What I mean by we is is the U.S. military was very afraid about that kind of technology getting into the Russian hands because of the reverse engineering. Now we're worried, and now we're worried about the tanks that are going to be on the ground, because they're going to reverse engineer those.
Yeah, but you want to know something though, Gary? They've already got it. They got that stuff from Afghanistan. So, it's that whole story about, they're going to reverse engineer it. They already know. So that's a bunch of bull. That's just someone in the media making a statement to try to get headline. They already know the details of the Javelin and the Stinger. They've known for years. They know all that stuff. And plus you have spies. None of that. The only thing that's real secret is the stealth technology that we have over there. Other than that, the basic armament and all that, no. Now the armor that the British have, that the British developed, yeah, that's top secret. But that's really hard to reverse engineer, because you have to break it down chemically.
And you have to know how to mix metals correctly to get that.
And they don't have that ability.
They don't have that ability. Absolutely.
And even if they did, they don't know how to use it. because all their turrets, they on their ammo storage on their tanks, they don't have blowouts. Ours do. That's why our soldiers can survive 2 or 3 hits. Theirs can't because the ammo blows up. It stays internally. On ours, if the ammo blows up, it has a vent. It blows it out.
Right.
All that all that kinetic energy goes somewhere else. Okay, so we're just a lot smarter about our designs. I've been following aviation and all that stuff for decades, and the technological stuff. I used to work at the old Bendix plant in New Jersey, and
What was that? What was Bendix?
old Bendix, they used to make altimeters and stuff, World War II and all kinds of
Oh,
other,
okay.
and we used to do all the guidance systems. Like I remember seeing the one missile in the case, and I'm like, wow. I think it was
But
like
no, that's very impressive.
it was like 15 feet long and it had the camera in the nose, the glass nose. This was 20, 30, this was about 30 years ago.
Right.
All the like for the MLRS that you see, we made the guidance systems that fit on that turret. I remember my dad was the quality manager and he used to go to Alabama and work on it. He was the quality manager, and I'm not surprised that the HIMARS and the MLRS is so devastating because their rockets, they have the same kind of systems, but they're lacking one thing: guidance and accuracy. And their munitions are just regular rockets. They don't put much thought into it. Again, it's about quantity over quality. You take one MLRS, the M270, and one missile can take out the size of a football field. Theirs
So,
can't.
so let me ask you this question, and it's always been on the back of my mind because everything is going to it, including our military, and that is geolocations of your troops and how your tanks are and how we get the precision strikes, and that's how we're using the technology in
Yeah.
Ukraine. So what happens if the GPS gets knocked out? Because I know for a fact that the US military right now, they're having, I mean, when I was in, I mean, I know how to read maps. I can read topographical maps with no problem. I could tell you where I am. But these new people, they don't know how to read a fucking map.
No, but remember one thing. You don't think the military is aware of that possibility? So don't you think they have a backup? Of course they do.
I don't know. I hope so. I think that
It wouldn't be that. Our military is probably the smartest military on the planet.
I'm sure we would put up some kind of balloon that automatically gives GPS right away,
No, there's so many satellites, military satellites that have been launched. You don't think that's part of that is GPS backup? Of course it is.
Sure,
Different
sure.
frequencies and everything else that can be tied in. Right now they're using Starlink, very effective.
Didn't even think about that. They sure are.
You're going to have back the redundant systems. That's one of the things that the U.S. military has been very good at for years, and the Russians aren't. It's just a fact. I mean, you look at the A-10, all the punishment that thing could take.
That A-10 was an amazing plane.
Yeah, and they just keep making them, because it's just
I can't believe they canceled that. That really was a letdown. It's just an old
it's
system.
Stupid. It's stupid. I've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
Because if we sent the A-10s, and they're very easy to train,
Yeah.
It's like flying a Cessna. So pretty much, you could train the Ukrainian pilots on it. I mean, that thing would be devastating to the Russians.
Oh, it would tear them up.
I think it would tear them up. So okay, so let's train a pilot. You could probably train them for 3 months, and you could, okay, if you want to get rid of them, okay, then give them to Ukraine.
Man, they would rip up the tanks, especially their tanks, with no problem. Man, you would have lollipops all over the place.
Wouldn't even be close.
Yeah.
And the A-10 can take punishment. None of the Russian planes.
They could really take a punishment. I've seen some pictures from back in the day, and even over Iran and Iraq. I mean, Iraq and
how many holes in the wings and
amazing.
Landing gear shoot up. Still, I'm in one.
Still makes it back.
And it was, I forget how many holes, 50, 60 holes. And his landing gear was chewed up. He said, and he still landed the plane. And he gets out and he goes, "Sorry, I couldn't keep it on the runway." Well, you brought it back, they could fix it and back up, he could go. So,
It's amazing.
that thing is a monster, and they should never get rid of it because you know what? You only have so many of your advanced stuff. And once that's all gone, what are you going to use? If you wipe out all their advanced stuff, you're going to take losses too. You still need something to go on the ground and tear up the ground stuff. And that's what the A-10 was great at. F-35 ain't going to be good at that. Neither was the F-16. It can't fly that slow. It can't loiter around like that. So from a military standpoint, that's stupid. Yeah. And yeah, does the military make mistakes? Of course they all do. This is going to be one of the most glaring mistakes they've ever made. And
Oh yeah.
it's stupid, but it's the way things are.
What about not putting our tanks on the ground? What do you feel about that?
The problem with using M1 Abrams is they use a different fuel.
Well, it's a turbine engine.
And
It's
they're
a
high
jet. It's a
maintenance.
jet engine.
They're better off using the Leopards because they use the same fuel as the Challenger. They're not as high maintenance, and it's better to do that. I mean, help them replace their tanks with Abrams or Leopards. That's the logistical problem, and they have to fix that. Make sure that.
I know we're giving them our diesel. We're giving them our diesel Abrams.
Yeah, well, that's all we have right now. There's a new one that's been designed, the M1X, but that one hasn't been in production yet, and that changes that so that it's much less maintenance and much more compatible in the battlefield in other countries because it's not using strictly diesel. The only thing that the military doesn't like is it only has a crewman of 3, whereas the Abrams has 4. And the reason for that is, okay, now you don't really need as many people. It has an auto loader, which military was usually against. The M1AX has an auto loader, so you don't need that person to load the ammunition anymore. The reason the military likes having 4 people is if the tank breaks down, you got 4 people to change links on the tracks and all that.
It takes a while. It's a hard fucker.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do. So having 4 people to make changes on the tank and maintain it, they like that a lot better. I don't know why they can't compromise.
A big part of why it has the turbine engine in the M1A is because it needs the power source, and it kicks out a lot of power so they can run all the systems inside the.
Well, the new one solves all those issues, and it's not a turbine. It solves all those problems. Yeah, they've been developing that for a while. General Dynamics, and it's a beautiful tank. Its armor is even better than what's on the M1A now.
Oh, I'm sure anything new is going to be better than what we have now.
Nobody's exposed. The guns on the outside are completely remotely operated. Nobody has to sit up at the turret and stick their neck out and fire. And
that's always been a problem.
That's all remote now. That's all done remotely, and the guys are much more protected. I mean, they should build them. I don't see what, I know what the problem is, what the military is, but then, you have worked in Bendix and you see these generals and stuff come in, and they're so easily convinced, Well,
everyone gets excited when you show them new technology.
Oh yeah, they're like little kids,
so I totally get it.
Yeah, I mean, I would tell them off. I said, "What are you crazy? Did you pay attention to your history classes at West Point? Obviously not. I wouldn't care. I don't care if they get insulted because it's the truth. How many times, you have to look at history. Don't make the same mistakes over. See, that's what Putin's doing is he's making the same mistakes Mussolini did, the same mistakes Hitler did. And, it's going to come back.
Well, that's all they know. That's the same.
They're very limited in their vision. He had a chance to make Russia a great country, have a great economy. And all
they were doing so well.
He screwed it all up.
He just
see that, and it's all about himself, and that's it. And when you have a leader like that, your country's going to fail. The same thing in China. He has a great opportunity with the amount of money that they make and everything to be really a world leader in a positive way.
Well, and he just got reelected.
Yeah, well, I know. I like how you do the quotes, reelected. Yeah, same thing in Russia. But I mean, he's holding on to this thing with Taiwan for so long, and Taiwan was never part of China. Get over it already. Be friends. Work together. You'll make a lot more money.
It's going to be a problem.
And you won't be a pariah. And
I kind of feel that they're looking to see how, how the world is handling everything. But there's a lot of problems right now because of all our direction towards Ukraine. There's problems with Iran, my God, the Iran problems are ridiculous. Now they have the uranium is almost up to military grade now, which is what they higher than the 87% that they had before. And
You know what's going to happen though, if they produce anything that's going to threaten Israel,
Israel's already looking to
they'll
take it out.
flatten it.
That'll
And
happen.
militarily, they're one of the greatest armies in the world. They could do it, and it won't be
So
that hard.
I don't want to lose sight because we really lost sight for a few minutes.
Pivot, but
Tell me about the organizations. You told me about the animals, and you have the refugees, and you have the ones for the kids, and you have one for just the general. I know all these will be in the links, obviously, so people can
and
all
like
the
I
links will
said
be in
before,
description.
yeah, people can click on a link and make a donation directly to that organization. That the link is.
And how long have you been doing this part for Ukraine?
Developing everything, all the products. I guess I'd say I've been doing it about 10 months.
10 months.
Yeah. The
And
hard part, as always, is marketing. I don't have money to market it, so I just try to get it out there as much as I can, and share it on Facebook with my friends, and hopefully they share it, and they share it, and they share it, and they share it. And it hasn't worked. I'm very frustrated, so I'm just hoping that I can get some marketing help on Fiverr or something like that from somebody to help me get it out there, and just and keep the momentum going. Because what happens when you have a situation, something like this go on for so long, people lose interest. They're not as angry, in the United States. They're saying, well, I got other things to worry about. It's not really going to affect me. They lose sight of that it will. And the momentum has really taken a downturn, and I want to keep it going as much as I can, because people got to understand. Do you think he'll stop at Ukraine? Hell no. Right after that, he's going to Moldavia. He's going to go to
Poland for sure.
He threatened Poland,
Lithuania,
Estonia, all of them. That's what he wants.
They're all little nothing countries that he feels that he can run right over.
Yeah, and he'll want to take back East Germany. He's going to want to do all that. And so, this is something, when you have a maniac like that, someone who's mentally unstable, this is what you have, and you can't let the momentum die. You have to keep it going. And that's what I'm trying to do. And in any which way I can get it out there. I mean, when I go out, yeah, I've got the stickers on my car, the hat on, I've got my piss on Putin hoodies, but is that going to have a big impact here? No, but the website, hopefully I can use that tool to have some kind of an impact, and hopefully raise money whenever I can to help these organizations, help the like I said, the people, the children, and the animals of Ukraine. And like I said, I vetted them very carefully. I know Save the Children's been around, and they, I look at what percentage of the money that you give goes to the actual assistance, and they're up there at the top. So no, there's
there's a possibility that you could actually contact those organizations and ask them to tag you on their website, so that way they can put a link to your site as well.
There's a problem with that, and the problem with that is the states. If they were to do that, I would have to get a permit from each and every state in the country.
Okay.
And how much those permits could literally cost me?
Thousands.
$50,000.
Right.
I don't have $50,000, so I can't. I say this is the charity we support, and that's all I can do.
I didn't realize.
I've got to apply for all these permits, and I don't have money for that.
Right.
I'm semi-retired. I got Social Security. I got this little business. I make a little money on the side on some of the other stuff, but that's it. I still got medical bills and everything else to pay. So I don't have the money for that. So I can't, reach
I'm
out.
putting everything I have into these interviews, so I get it.
All I can do is, when I get orders, is record everything and show on the website. Okay, I had $500 in orders. I donated $300. Well, yeah, I mean, if people understand, wholesale costs, what it
It
costs you.
still costs money, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
you still got to pay for the products, the shipping. You got to pay for the materials to ship, to protect the materials when you ship. The ink.
Maybe you should list that as well. Maybe you should list those things that are coming out of the
Well,
money so that
I
people
did.
actually see
I'm
that.
not gonna list details. Okay, as far as how much does it cost me in ink, or how much it costs is for the mug, or the box for the mug, and that's going a little bit over the top. And plus, a lot of manufacturers of this stuff, they don't want people knowing what it costs.
No, no, right.
So, I just list what it cost me versus the sale, and the difference is what I've done there.
And I know you said that you're disappointed with the marketing, so uh I'll try to help you with that too. I told you before, I've been it's been amazing. All these interviews I'm conducting take so much time, and
Sure,
it's odd times because I'm dealing with people across the world, so it's
honestly,
early times,
yeah,
you know. And then by the afternoon, you know, after you've already put in stupid 8 hours here trying to do what
exhausting.
you can, you're still exhausted come 4 o'clock. I had to yesterday, well, I was sick the day before, really bad. And then yesterday was a recoup day. And today I'm really doing just mostly computer stuff. And I wanted to do this with you. But besides that, I have to recoup because man, I'm old too. I'm burning the candle on both sides. I mean, it's something I want to do. My wife is like, don't make it a job. And I'm like, no, but I'm very passionate about it, and it's stuff like you that you're feeling very strong to get help and to help the Ukrainian people and excuse me, Ukraine and her people and their animals. And that includes, you said, the zoo animals, which a lot of them are being stolen and or even dead already. And there's a lot of issues with pets being left behind. There's just makeshift animal shelters. Some lady will have 50 cats, 20 cats, 10 dogs. They're just doing whatever they can to
Right.
piecemeal it all together so that even the animals are able to survive. And these people I know are getting help as well, because I just interviewed a lady from Switzerland who is the I think she's the president, but they are distributing a massive amount of money to these people to help with all those, and they're all vetted. Every place that they give are vetted hard, and they give documentation back of how, of course, their money was
Yeah.
spent.
Well, you have to. So, remember I was telling you about the cards. I don't know if you can see this. That's,
Yes.
that's what it looks like.
Oh, that's really nice. I like it a lot.
And on the inside, that's what it looks like going to the Ukrainian embassy.
Hold it back just a hair. Perfect. Nice. I like it a lot. You designed that?
Yeah.
You do great work on the design. I am crap.
It's been a long haul. It's a lot of trial and error, and learning how to use Adobe and all that.
I have a website that is just sitting there that I need to convert uh for this whole stuff.
This is the card that goes to the Russian
I
ambassador,
love it. I love it.
to their embassy.
I like it that it's both in it's got three languages. It is. It's
Yeah.
Ukraine. Is that Polish?
No, it's Russian.
All
Both
right.
are
Oh,
Russian.
it's all Russian.
Yeah, but there's two different like styles of writing in
Oh,
Russian.
I didn't know that.
Well, it's the same with Ukraine. Ukrainian language. There's two different types of fonts. So you look at one, you look at the other. You don't think they're the same language, but they are. It's just different style of writing.
I could tell you that after doing many interviews already, I have been learning how to say their names and the spellings and how things come out, for the language part. And it's been a learning experience, and
Yeah.
I like learning.
This is an example of the page showing all the different charities that people can donate to, you know.
Oh,
all
perfect.
funds.
Yes.
So they can click right on that and it'll take them right to that charity's link, and they can make a direct donation to that charity if they want. And then here is an example. This is all the product page. You see all the different.
Oh, yes. Yep. Man, you did great work on those flowers, man.
It's a lot of work. A lot of hours on a computer to be to the point your eyes start tearing, and you got to go throw some cold water on your face, you know.
Yeah, I believe it. If I guess if there's anything else that you think that we need to say, I'd like to
Well, the
start
thing-
talking that way.
The thing I really would like to reach out, yeah, if anybody can help me with the marketing, I'd greatly appreciate it. On a
And your
volatile.
contact information is on your website that I post.
Yeah, they can send an email or call the toll-free number. If they want to help out, in any way. I don't have money to pay people. If they want to help, they got to do it. This is on their own. Or even
It's for a
advice.
good cause.
If they want to, give advice on how to market it, that'd be welcome. Another thing is to be able to get a hold of companies that are in Europe or other areas that can help do this whole Slava Ukraine card thing with me, and really let's make it go viral. I'm going to try to do my own little YouTube video on that once I get set up for that, and put that out make it my Decoria channel on YouTube, and I'm going to post video, do a lot of videos on this, and hopefully people subscribe, and hopefully we can get it go viral, and I can get a hold of other companies that are willing to work with me to do the same thing in their country. If they want to use their own design, I don't care, fine. If they want to use the concept, great. That's the idea. Let's get as many of these sent to the Ukraine embassy to show our support, which will give them a nice lift, and to also send as many, if not more, to the Russian embassy just to piss them off. I just let them know how pissed off we are. And you know what? I suggest you stay in the embassy. Don't go walking around the street, because we're mad at you. And we're tired of the lies. We're tired of the crap. And enough is enough. And maybe you should just go home.
I like the idea of sending them to the Ukraine embassy to lift the morals, the morale of everybody. I didn't mean morals, but the morale.
If you want to buy one of each, great. Like I said, I can't say it enough. I don't make a penny on this. And all you have to do is take the card, stick it in the addressed and stamped envelope, and stick it in the mail. It doesn't cost you anything to do that but your time. Okay, I do not make a penny on this. I don't lose money because I can't. The only thing it costs me is my time, which can be extensive. If I get an order for 500 of these cards, I got to print 500 of these and stick them all. I don't charge for that. That's on my own time. So, I don't charge a handling fee or anything like that. It's everything's all included, all the material costs, the postage, all that. So
I totally love your hat. Like I said, I'm going to buy one of your hats.
thanks.
And
when you're in.
I'm going to help you try to do what, to get your word out the best I can, like I told you. And I know this is a great start. So,
you got to start somewhere.
Between me sharing it and you sharing it and stuff like that, it would really help a lot,
I'm hoping, like I said, once I get, I've got a banner coming in next week that has the Ukraine flag, but it also has the poop on Putin on it, piss on Putin, and it has the Ukrainian trident, and that's going to be behind me. I'm going to do that with all the videos when I talk about people.
That's nice. I have a flag that will be here, I think, Monday, that I'm putting up behind me.
Yeah, I got one here already. I got my office. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, I have like a 3x5 or something like that I want to put behind me.
Yeah.
I'm like I told you, my grandparents are three of them were born and raised in Kiev before they moved immigrated. You know, I feel as much as you to feel like we have to do something. And the
I just,
atrocities from World War II that people don't hear about in the normal everyday life, I think that's very important because no one hears the human aspect. We hear on the news that Bakhmut got more shelling, and Ukraine's shot back, and they did some more devastation and stuff like that. But we don't really hear the humans and the human toll. And I also heard just the other day that that pretty basically everybody in Ukraine has PTSD of one time kind of another.
I'm sure.
So, you know,
I can't, the closest I can come to understanding what they're going through, and it's not even really that close, was 9/11. Yeah, I'm sitting in my office right across the river. I watched the whole thing happen. Um, I lost friends in 9/11. People I used to hang out with on the train every morning and every night. They're gone. You know, I lost like three of them. Um, and having seen that and heard it and smelled it for months and months, um, going in the Hoboken train station and seeing the big boards with the thousands of pictures of people that were lost, and people were looking, have you seen my husband? Have you seen my wife? Have you seen my girlfriend? And to see that twice a day, literally for a year, I mean, it was devastating. And it's not even close to what they're going through, but I can relate in a way, but in a very small way. And, hopefully, what I'm doing is going to help them. I mean, is it going to make a huge impact? No, but if it helps 100 animals or 100 kids, then that's great, because that's 100 who didn't have help before. So, on whatever level that I can help, I'm grateful for. If, like I said, if I can only help 10, okay, well, that's 10 who didn't have the help before. Now they have that help. If it can be hundreds, great. If it can be thousands, even better. The more I can help, the better.
and what was the name of your website again?
Jacoria.
And did it mean when you made that name, did it mean something to you?
It's kind of a Greek Latin thing. Jacoria.
Just
Yeah,
wondering.
I made the logo for it and all that. Here's one of the I was telling you about the shirts with the piss on Putin. This is
Oh, it's focusing now. There you go. That looks
that's
good.
yeah.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
And you can get it again. I keep everything in the gold, or I can only get gold in the hoodies, but either white, blue, gray, or the gold. The t-shirts you can get them in. They're called Daisy, which is yellow. And again, all the profits go to one of those organizations. Because
Are
of
the people able to pick the organization?
no,
No.
the minute they do that, then I have to get those permits.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It sucks. You're trying to help people, and of course, these local state governments got their hands out. And like I said, I can't afford $50,000 in fees. Some states are $5,000. Period.
Right, right.
Some states there's a couple that don't, but if the minute you do something like that, it opens you up to all of that. And that's why there were some groups I talked to, they didn't want to even they didn't want to even talk. I said, no, we don't want to get involved because of that. So, they say they do it to make sure the organizations are legitimate. There's better ways of doing it. You don't need to charge that kind of money. Okay, it's ridiculous. You're trying to help nonprofits raise money, and yet you're going to make people pay for the privilege, as they look at it, to help others. Are you kidding me?
No, this is the system, and a
It
lot
sucks.
of these systems in America are just Arcadian and excuse me, and they're just extremely bad. A lot of these rules and laws that were made back then were really made to protect a certain crowd of people, and it I don't know. That's a whole nother story, I guess.
Yeah.
But
it is.
we have to focus on Ukraine. I know whatever help that we can give Joe here on his website, that would be amazing. He's looking to make zero money. He just wants to help the Ukraine and her people. And
And the children and the pets.
yeah, I mean, we're the whole kit and caboodle of Ukraine. He's trying to help, and again, we're gonna have all the
This is the logo.
awesome. I like it a lot, and I'll make sure that all the links are in the descriptions, and we'll make sure that people see your name, of your business name. So
Yeah, any graphics you need or links, just ask, that, and I'll send them over to you.
and then we'll figure out where to send all this awesome podcast or interview so we can get things really good.
I'm
You
praying,
know,
hopefully.
it will be good. You'll see. You know why? Because we are doing what we can from our heart to help Ukraine and her people and the animals, and so I feel that if we do that, it has to work out because we're doing it for out of pureness. We're just trying to do it.
Yeah. No
So
other no other motivation but to help those in need. That's it.
that's it. That's it. All right, Joe. I really appreciate your time.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And let's keep praying we can make a difference and pray that this whole thing comes to an end and that the Ukraine can recover and be whole again.
And please, again, click on Joe's links and buy his products. He makes zero money on it, and all the profits go straight to Ukraine and her people and the animals again and the refugees. Again, please help, and everyone have a safe day. And
Gary.
we hope to see you guys too. And was it Slavo?
Ukraine.
Slava Ukraine. There we
Pray to
go.
Ukraine.
Yep. Glory to Ukraine. Good luck.
Thanks, Gary. I'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
Bye, everybody.